welcome to Darvanalee Design Studio. My name's Nicole Reed and today we've got another great little zipper tutorial for you. It's a boxed pouch with a handle, and basically I am using a lace zipper in this one just to give you another take on what you can do with your lace zippers. After the success of the last video that I did using the lace zippers, I thought I'd do a couple of little different items that you can make with them. So let's get started. There's just a couple of things that you've got to do today. Just head over to our blog, and that's linked up down below. You'll find the written instructions in a downloadable file over there, so just print that off and then you'll have that, and you can put that into your pattern collection, whatever you need to do. It is a free download, so scoot on over to our blog, grab that and head on back. You're going to need 2 pieces of exterior fabric measuring 10 inch by 9 inch. The same again in the lining. You're going to also need 2 pieces of fusible foam, either Bosal, Matilda's Own or any soft and stable. Mine's fusible, and so it makes it a little bit easier to work with, but use whatever you've got on hand. It's really good this one's really good for using up your little leftovers from handbags and stuff like that. You're going to need to cut an exterior and a shape flex 101 or whatever woven interfacing you like to use. You need to cut that 8 inches by 4 inches, and that's for the handle, and then you'll need to cut a smaller one for the zipper pull. Well, it's actually the pull tab, it's not a zipper pull. It goes at the end of the zipper, and it makes it easier to open and close your bag. You're going to also need a lace zipper, 30 centimeter one. Your general sewing supplies as usual, a zipper foot and your sewing machine, and an ironing and ironing pad, some quilting rulers, and then you'll be set to go. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now that we've got all our supplies is we're just going to press the exterior fabric onto our fusible foam. So you just line that up. And if you've got an applique sheet or something like that, you can place that over. I'm not going to do that today so you can see what I'm doing. Basically, using my iron on a cotton setting, I am just going to start in the middle and I'm going to work my way out and down and to the left and then up. And I just keep my iron moving, and that way it won't scorch the fabrics or anything like that. And you just keep doing that until it is on there, and you can check that by just checking the corners, and that's on there. So I'll sit that aside, grab my second piece of foam and repeat the same procedure. Usually for about 30 seconds should be enough, and I set that aside, and then I grab my handle and my pull, turn my fabric over, and with my shape flex or my woven interfacing, whatever brand you're using, I'm using shape flex today, you want to take the bumpy side and place that onto the wrong side of the fabric. And again, just keep your iron moving. And I can see that that's stuck, and I can set that aside, and then I repeat for the handle. Okay, so they're all done. I just give my lining pieces a bit of a press. They don't have any interfacing on them. And now we're ready to start sewing. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the handle for our little zipper pouch. So you're going to grab your piece that you've got for your handle, you're going to fold it in half lengthways, and then you're going to open it back up and you're going to bring your raw edges into that center line and give it a press, and you repeat with the other side, and then fold it over onto itself. And if you've got a clapper, just put that on top and that'll just help secure that in place to get ready to sew it. Then you're going to take your little bag pull, which is going at the other end of your bag, which you can see on here. So it's at one end of the zip. So that's the piece we're going to make now. And you're basically repeating the same thing again, folding it in half lengthways. So you should have two pieces that look like this. One is for this end of the pouch and the other one will be acting as a handle. And now what you're going to do is you're going to sew 1/8 of an inch down each side to secure those in place. Okay, so you can see there that I have sewn it 1/8 of an inch from each side. You also might want to extend your stitch length. I usually use about a 2.8 to a 2.9. Depending on the thickness of the fabric, sometimes I might go up to a 3. So you've done that with both of them. Now you can set those aside, trim off any excess threads, and they're done. Okay, so grab an exterior piece that's already got your foam on it and a lining piece, and we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and along one 10-inch side we are going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we're going to repeat that with our second set of panels. Okay, so we've sewn our two pieces. What we're going to do now is we're going to flip this piece over and press it into place. I grab a couple of wonder clips just to anchor that down the bottom, because my foam is actually double-sided fusible, so I need to sort of anchor it there so I can just roll that over so it's nice, neat seam. Give that a press. Now I can give this a press, working my way down. And what will happen, because mine's double-sided fusible, it will actually fuse the lining to the foam, and that way it shouldn't move or give me any grief once it's in place. And the wonder clips just hold the raw edges together. And repeat with the second piece. Okay, so that's our two panels, and now we're going to attach our zipper. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to attach our lace zipper. I've got a large zipper here, and I'm going to trim that down a little bit after I've installed it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch this with our first panel. So we're going to place the zipper on top. Okay, we're not sandwiching anything, we're placing it on top, and then we're just going to get a couple of pins and we're going to pin that into place. And then I'm going to top stitch this zipper in. And then once we've done that, we'll repeat it with the other side. But I just want to show you something just on the back, just so you can get a good idea of where this is going to be sitting. So you can see there that there's where the zip teeth are, in this part of the zip here. So I've got it just sitting, just the edge of the panel just sitting against that. So what that will mean is when I open the zipper, it won't get caught on any of the fabric there. So you can see, you can't see any of that panel, it's just lining up just like that on the back. So that gives you a bit of a close-up of it, and that's what we're aiming for. And you can leave the zipper closed. That you don't need to have it open to sew it in, because we're just top stitching this in. Okay, so you can see there I've just top stitched that down. It's attached on both sides, and that will open up just beautifully. You can see that there. Now I'm not going to trim the zipper just yet, because I have to open and close my zipper pull, so I don't want to accidentally take that off at this point. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my second piece, and I'm going to line that up just like so, pin it in place, and then sew the zipper in. You can see there that they're lining up, our two panels are lining up, so it's starting to look a little bit like a zipper pouch. Okay, so at this point you just want to make sure that your zipper works correctly and it's not catching on any of the panel or the fabric or any threads or anything like that. Mine's working okay, so go ahead and test yours now. Okay, so what you need to do now is open your zipper tab and your zipper pull, sorry, and you're going to have it open, and what we're going to do is we're just going to trim off this excess zipper here. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut that off there, and I'm going to do the same up here, and that's it, they're done. So, and if you're a little bit worried that this is going to come open, what I generally do is I just head over to the sewing machine and do about 1/8 of an inch on each end, and then that way I don't have to stress about the zipper pull coming off. Okay, so I've done that, so now I know that that's not going to accidentally get pulled off or anything like that. I think I can get it close enough for you. You can see there I've just stitched across the zipper teeth there. I've gone forward, back, and then forward again, and that's enough to stop it from coming off. It'll just stop it there. You can see that there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to leave our zip about half open. We're going to fold it with the exterior fabric right sides touching, and now we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance along this edge here. Okay, so we've done that. Now I know that some people only have straight stitching machines. I actually have one that has decorative stitches and a zigzag, and otherwise you're going to have a raw edge. So if you've only got a straight stitcher, that's fine. Just grab your pinking shears at this point and just pink across this way here. Okay, that'll stop that from fraying and neaten it up a little bit. Short of that, you can actually put some ribbon or some bias tape across that, and you just stitch that in place, and then you can just snip the excess off. I've done that in the past. I've got a zigzag machine, so I'm just going to actually zigzag across this. If you do use a zigzag, remember to change your foot to your all-purpose foot, so there's enough throat space there. Okay, so you can see there I've just zigzagged that, and you can see it's encased all the raw edges, so I don't have to worry about that. You can also use your overlocker or serger. You can, as I said, you can do your straight stitch, and you can just put some bias tape over the edge of that. That's fine. Anything that you want to do to neaten up that's a great way to go. And if you haven't used bias tape, this is a perfect opportunity to try some. Okay, so the next step is we're going to flatten our pouch, and we're going to line that seam that we've just zigzagged up with the zipper teeth. Okay, so we want it to be all aligning, and we're going to grab our wonder clips and we're going to pin that into place. So you can see there that my zipper teeth are there, my seam is there, and I'm lining those two up. So if I come around to the open part of it, you can see that seam just there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to clip this in place using our wonder clips. Repeating at the other end as well, making sure it's all lined up. Okay, now my zip is open, so you can see there it is actually open. And I just double check to make sure that everything is lining up properly, and it looks to be, so I'm happy with that. And now we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so now we've got our little bag nice and flat. You've got it all pinned in place. If it's bulking up on you on this side, just pop a pin there to it, and it'll secure it in place for you. So next what we're going to do, you're going to grab your friction pen and you're going to grab yourself a ruler, and out of each corner you're going to cut a notch out of 1.5 inches. So basically how I do that is I just line my ruler up at the 1.5 mark, so you can see that there, and then I just make a mark with my friction pen. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a friction pen, you use lead pencil or anything like that, you're actually not going to see that because you're going to cut on that line. And you're going to do that in all 4 corners. If your clips are in the way, just move them and then you can put them back if you need to. Alrighty, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're actually just going to cut that out straight on that line. So it looks like that. And you're going to repeat to all 4 corners, making sure you're not going past that line that you've marked, because it won't sit properly if you go too far. Okay, so we've done all 4 corners. Okay, so we're on to the next step of our pouch, and what you're going to do is you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance down this way, and this is where your zipper is actually going to close up to, and that's the end that your handle goes on. But first of all, we've got to insert this little guy here. So I've stitched that down so I knew what I'm doing next, and basically I get my little pull that I created and I insert that in with my raw edges lining up, and you want to find the center of it, so you just want to eyeball it. So you just slide it in on that bottom seam and where your zippers are, where your zipper teeth are, and basically you just pop that in there. Okay, and that'll be all secure in place, and then you can stitch your 1/4 inch. So that's all secured in there, and then you're just going to stitch your 1/4 inch, and you can reverse here if you want to, just for that added security, and then again you're going to zigzag as well. Okay, so we've done that. You can see there that it's all zigzagged up and it's looking all neat, and we've got rid of all our excess threads and everything like that. There's still probably a couple more that I could get rid of, but yeah, we've got rid of most of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to close up these notches. So the end that we just put our little, and I've just opened up the bag so you can see it, our little bit that we put in there to hang off our key rings or our little decorations, that's the end we're going to start with. You want to open your zipper up as well. So that's open, so you can see there I've got my zipper completely open. And what you're going to do is you're going to line your raw edges up of those notches. Now I'll show you how I did that. So I just get my fingers in and I just pinch it, and you can see there that it's just the raw edges are lining up. Now which way the seam should go is preferably towards the bottom of the bag, so it doesn't try to go to where the zipper is, and I just get my wonder clips and pop that on there to secure it in place, and I just fiddle around with it so it's all lining up, all my raw edges. You might have to stick a couple of extras on there, and then you repeat that to the other side of the same end. And again, you're going to go over, you're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you're going to zigzag those edges or put bias tape on. But honestly, the zigzag's probably the easiest way to go, or using your serger. Okay, So you can see there that that seam is actually going towards the bottom of the bag, to our first seam that we've done. It's not going to curl up to where the zipper is. And you just want to really make sure that that happens, because what can happen is this will curl up to your zipper and your zipper will get stuck on it, and we don't want that. Alrighty. Okay, so you can see there that our ends are now all secure and in place. They're all boxed up. And now we're going to add our handle to the opposite end. So this can be a little bit tricky, so just take it slow. You're going to take your handle that you prepared earlier, and you're basically going to slip it in, and you're going to find the center of your seam. Again, you want that bottom seam to go towards the bottom of the bag, and you're going to find the center of your handle, and you're going to pop that in there. Now at this point I just grab a wonder clip and just secure that in place. And then I grab the other end of the notched area, and I just pinch that together, and you can see there that my raw edges are all aligning up. And I just grab my wonder clip and I just pinch that into place, and that way I won't lose it in the bag. Okay, so you can see there. And now from this side, you can just making sure that the handle is going straight. You want to bring the other end up, and again align that with the center of your seam. Okay, pop a wonder clip on there, making sure that that seam is going to the bottom of the bag, aligning up our raw edges. Wonder clips are great for putting these handles in. That just makes it so much easier. Okay, so we've got all our wonder clips in place and our handle. So if you open up the bag, you can see the handle in there. Okay, and basically now what we're going to do is we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then we're going to zigzag it like we've done with the other end. Okay, so you can see there we've got that all sorted and it's all stitched. So now we can turn our bag in the right way and we'll be ready to use it. Just pushing our corners out. Okay, so our bag is all turned out. Our zipper is working fine. We've got our handle, and you can add some decorative bits and pieces onto the end if you want. I always try to find something like this one here I use for sewing notions, so I've got a sewing notions key ring on it, and that way I know it belongs to me. And yeah, so that's it. That's a quick and easy way of doing a boxed zipper pouch with a handle and a pull. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed making another little zipper pouch with the lace zipper. It's a different one than the last one that we made, and we've used some different stabilizers and whatnot in it. So I hope you really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see your pictures over on our Facebook group. If you're looking for that link, that is underneath this video. If you click on that, someone will approve you to join the group, and then you can share all your crafty pictures with us. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up down below, share it with your crafty friends, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it. And for those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reid for Darvanalee Design Studio, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now!